Hello.
Good morning, everybody. We're a little bit early, but happy April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. The nudge that Steph and I worked with this morning during our studio session was, what is grounded bravery? So it was odd for me this morning. I wrote for a while and I filled up a page and I thought, okay, there's not been a bell, but I'm ready. It felt done.
Mm.
And so I started working on this poem that's been coming on this page that I started many months ago. And then in the middle of it, there was like this other, oh no, there's more there. You got to write some more. um, the first thing it reminds me of is, wow, once I get things in an order that they're going to happen, I want them to stay in that order.
Right. Me too.
So that sort of, it did make me laugh. It's like, okay, this stuff really needs to be written. Will I attend to it, or will I just stay with my plan? And I guess I just want to give people some background that, this question grew out of stuff Steph and I are working with about playing it safe and taking risks. And
which also grew out of being introverted, and for me, realizing that I can only do so much socially before I have what a lot of people have coined a social hangover or an introverted hangover. So yeah, I mean, it all sort of just cascaded into this thing that we're now working with, and it's been helpful for me to realize that I don't have to, my routine does not have to look like anybody else's.
mm-hmm.
And where can I put self-care in my life without completely, and new stuff in my routine without completely disrupting one thing or the other, because I'm so much an either or person, instead of just like trying to do a little of both, or maybe or just trying to gradually move into it instead of just boom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's what our culture cultivates.
Right. Yeah, for me, what really came up about grounded bravery is it's about being present to what's happening in my inner and outer, what's arising, and then can I follow it? I'm finding in my self-care, I like to have a lot of, I like it. I like lots of space around it. I like to be able to, and this morning I was having a rushed morning. And so, the things I was giving up were the things that would actually probably make my day, allow me to be more present in my day. And I
And
could
grounded, yeah.
feel this, how resentful I was because I've had several leisurely mornings, how resentful I was of being pushed, how I was judging myself about what I choose to not do.
Mm-hmm.
When I feel pushed, and then I'd let myself be a little knocked off balance by by a Facebook post, of all things. And it's that focus on the bigger and better life.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to find out that the way I feel good is I have lots of space around. I provide myself lots of space, which actually doesn't really often take me out into the world in any meaningful I mean, in a meaningful way, um, but I avoid stuff. So I feel like playing it safe now is it's that sort of closing in
Hmm.
and choking off the life force. And what are my risks? What, and could they come from grounded bravery, not fitting in, not not saying no to what I want to do because I want the person I'm with to like me.
Hmm.
Um, all that stuff.
Yeah, totally. And did you come up with the phrase grounded bravery? Did you just sort of, yeah. So it was a brand new thing for me to think about, grounded bravery. Um, and for me, it's taking risks, but bite-sized, like risks that are comfortable for me to take
Mm-hmm.
in order to still have, you know, a self-care routine and to still feel good and to be able, because I can bite off way more than I can chew and then be down for a week or two. And that
Mm-hmm.
has to do with being introverted, but it also has to do with having chronic
Right.
stuff going on in my body. And what I found is grounded bravery. I love that. It's how can I be brave on my terms? So it's not saying, oh, I can't be brave or I can't push myself. It's saying I can push myself, but in a grounded way, in a way that I can still take care of myself. It's brilliant. I love that term.
Well, and for me, what I realized was, you know, I go around going, yes, I'm a brave girl. But I realized that, and I've been, and I like my tough, snarky tomboy kind of girl.
Yeah.
But it is really just a being tough to be tough and being defiant. And, to not show my embarrassment because I made a mistake, to the things I wrote of not wor- or bec- being that way because um, I'm afraid of getting hurt or dying. you know, I mean, it's just like, or out of control
Right.
or
Yeah.
any of that stuff. And so it wasn't almost like that bravery that I thought I wasn't real.
Yeah. Yeah. And so a big part, at least for me, of bravery, grounded bravery, real bravery, is to have vulnerability built into it.
Hmm.
It's yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, I'd like to go way off the path right now, and I'd love to read you the poem that has come.
I would love to hear it too.
Um, it it started, it started 18 months ago with the writing prompt. If my back could speak, it would say, which pretty much I think it would say, I'm here for grounded bravery.
Yeah.
Um, my response at the time was, what my back would say was, take care of me. The poem that came was, isn't it time to give my strong root a moving experience? When every sinew in my body, every hour, is telling me, without soul, I'm just a shell. I was born here to get into the mud and not just talk about it. Here's how. Proceed fiercely with caution, without puzzling over the past, walking the line in good mood shoes.
Wow.
So it's fascinating to me that this stuff we work on works us, and the cyclical part of it, and how and I'm always amazed, like, wow, I've been here, but there's another layer underneath it I can be. And so I guess really when I think about it, I could give up being hard on myself about playing it safe and not taking risks. I think there are those of us who just do it in a different way.
Absolutely. And
You know,
if
my risk taking has been in,
mhm, yeah,
you know, as yours, as we witness in our journals. And
absolutely. And it's funny because speaking of journals, I did like delve into some really old journals a few weeks ago, and there was just so much of me trying to be something that I wasn't, but
mm,
barely even realizing it. I was just doing what was expected of me, doing what the general population does, and really beating myself up about not fitting in that well. And I just thought, wow, this work is really, or practice, has really shown me that it's okay to just be how I am.
right.
But I want to back up, and I know we'll close out after this, but I want to ask you to explain your poetry for people who may not be aware of how that comes about, because it's a very process oriented poetry.
Right. Um, well, it's satisfying my desires. My first real desire to be anything was a poet at like 14. Uh, Yay, Rod McEwen, he came just in time for my melancholic self. Um, and in the process painting, we don't, words aren't actually encouraged. Um, but I like words and I like poetry and I like the mix of it. So when I started working in the journal, and particularly when I started going back, I was finding deeper and deeper layers in the imagery and how it was working, and there were more words. My poetry is phrases I cut out of the magazines and words I cut out that just speak to the place I'm in on the page I'm on. And I collect them and I begin to arrange them. And, sometimes it comes really quickly. Sometimes it's in fits and starts. Uh, Sometimes I get attached to a phrase I really want to use and it doesn't work. And so it really for me, it's very process oriented. I just have to watch my attachment. I have to not go searching for the perfect word,
Right.
and allow the poem to, even whatever word I came up with, oh, that'd be the perfect word. Can I let that soften and find something else that, maybe there'll be something else? Can I leave it? Or else I cut out a word and then I lose it on the floor and sweep it up in the trash. It's been an interesting process, but it's the first time in my life that, I've always written and played around, but it's the first time honestly, I feel like I'm writing really good poems.
I feel like it's a collaboration between you and the powers that be, universe, your higher self. I don't mean to project at all, but it's just and that's how I feel about the process in general. Like
Right.
we can get out of our own way and collaborate as opposed to like dictate. It's a totally different ballgame, and that's why I wanted you to explain it, because it's the same. It's just with words.
And I rarely start with the words.
Right.
It's from something else and it begins to evolve. And in this journal, I just so happened to do on the first pages, because I was using it in a workshop, was I did the journal writing in it. So I have writing, and I'm kind of, it's always so oddly strange to come back and go, oh wow, the writing nudge we're having today is very much, I just feel like that grounded bravery. If my back could speak, what would it say?
Mm.
It's that having a backbone that's flexible and taking care of it, and really it likes to lay on the floor and do nothing. And then the words come after that. It is a collaboration of many little pieces coming together and not knowing what it was going to be when I started.
Yeah. Oh, the powers of process art.
Yeah. Where it will take you.
Right.
So thanks, Steph. And thanks to all of you for listening in.
Yeah. See you next time.
All right. Bye.